Thank you for joining us wherever you are. This podcast episode is brought to you by the Old Ways Actual Play team. This actual play uses the 7th edition Call of Cthulhu tabletop role-playing game rules by Chaosium. This actual play is performed by adults and in an adult setting. While we try very hard to stick to languages for all ages, listeners should know that this podcast may include mature themes. All content, including names, places, events, companies, and etc., that may bear resemblance to entities living or dead, is strictly coincidental. My name is Michael Diamond, and for tonight's game, I will be your keeper. Thank you for joining us again on another episode of the Old Ways podcast. I'm your keeper, Michael, and we return to Masks of Nyarlathotep in the Egypt chapter. We are in our finale series, so thank you for joining us again. And we're going to begin with introductions. To my right,
this is Tiffany, and I play Meave O'Shea, and I just did a thing.
You did. It's a sweet, sweet release for you, Miss O'Shea. Congratulations. To Miss O'Shea's right.
This is Morgan. I play Lillian Lane, and Force-Sliced Rifle has really brought me some luck this time around.
Yeah, no, I mean, it didn't work out well for him the last time, but
yeah, no,
it worked out for you very well. At the end of the table.
This is Jake. I'm playing Jack Doyle, and I still have a really good feeling about this. I do. Things went well last time, and I think they're going to go even better this time.
Very interesting. To Jack's right.
This is Lonnie. I'm playing Adalzar, and get down the goddamn stairs.
Words to live by. To Adel's right.
This is James. I'll be playing Dr. Sigmund Tattenbach, and I've been safe because I've been away from the stairs the whole time. Completely safe.
Yeah. Yeah, you've had a rather interesting experience recently. You've tasted someone else's blood in your mouth. And last but most certainly not least.
This is Alex playing Saint-Biron, who is thoroughly convinced that the real fight has yet to land upon this bloody valley.
Oh, how right you are. And so we return to our bloodied battlefield, which is now scorched. Many of the pits of sand which were nearby are now frothing, foaming, almost glassied pieces of earth. Several camels have been torn to shreds, and several beasts lay in a smoking husk piles. But that said, not all your combatants are gone. We can begin the top of the round with the fastest hands in the west, and that would be Miss Lillian Lane.
is the bad guy? There's still one very to the north by the camel there.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah. Is he still alive?
He is still alive.
Okay.
He's eating a camel.
That camel that's still there, right there. How many camels do we have left?
You have one camel left.
But he's being eaten.
Yes. He's not dead yet, though.
All right, so I am going to take out that guy that's right. Yep, that one right there.
All right, so you look right, but realize that he has cover. You wheel left, and you see this alligator head creature bearing down on you.
And I had heard Jack telling me to run to get inside the temple. But that guy is right there, and it's just, I'm feeling really good about it. I have a 55 out of 65.
Okay, roll damage.
And I have a 9.
Okay. You fire, and as you do, you lay into him, or this being, because they're not really, you don't really get a good feel on their gender. It likely doesn't matter because their head is
An animal.
some sort of animal.
Yeah.
But it stays up.
Is it limping or anything?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good.
But that does not mean, anyway, that does not mean that it is not coming for you entirely.
I'm just making sure it doesn't go for Jack, who's in front.
Certainly. Speaking of, Mr. Doyle, the ever headstrong Lillian Lane has decided to ignore you and fire off another round. The blood is up, clearly. 115, Sam? Just given your vantage point with Jack stepped out there a little bit, it's going to be a dangerous play.
Oh, I see it. I have a question. Can I see that lonely fellow off to the southwest there? Because they haven't really moved a whole lot since
you can see him.
the fight started. What are they doing?
They're hanging out. They look like they're moving their arms back and forth.
His programming's glitchy.
Since I don't really have a vantage point from here without getting down from my perch, I will once again holster the little lady, promising her that I will return. And I will bring up the 45 again and take a rifle shot at the suspicious creature to the southwest.
Okay.
And as I do, I will yell over the gunfire, I don't think this is over. And that is a hard success, 25 over 74.
Okay, roll damage.
So that is, 13 plus 3, so 16.
Yeah, you pick him off. Whatever he was doing, he's not doing it anymore.
And I guess I will take my movement, whatever the amounts for that, to pull up the field glasses hanger on my neck to see if anything else is coming.
All right. I will give you a spot hidden roll next round.
Sure.
Jack?
Since nobody's bothered to run, I'm going to have to stand out here and give them cover.
It's a dangerous game you're playing there.
It is a very dangerous game. I'm going to start from the south and move from north. 51. 9. Ooh, I missed that one. 92. 51. With 8.
You get a couple shots off. Not a perfect series, but you wound several of them. It looks like, anyway, that at least a few of these in the front here are fairly wounded. So that'll be Audle on 70.
So having yelled at them and them doing nothing but continuing to fire and seeing that they're right outside the door there.
Yep.
Instead of doing my original plan, I curse very audibly in a language that maybe one of them understands. I pull my sword and I go out hacking.
Ah, yes. You pull the scimitar. Where are you going to go?
I'm going to go to the one at the north.
Okay. You head towards the camels. You see one of these creatures up close. It is devouring this camel, or trying to.
So is it basically an attack of opportunity?
Nope, it is not. There are no attack of opportunities here in Call of Cthulhu. You can make a fighting brawl roll because it's a melee weapon, and it can either choose to fight back or to dodge.
11 under
Yes.
53.
Okay, so that's a hard success. It chose to fight back. It did not succeed. Roll damage.
7.
Okay. You swing this thing mercilessly down and chop a huge chunk of this creature to bits. It does not drop, but it roars at you instead.
That blade's pretty hard to miss, isn't it?
Oh yeah, yeah. Even in the kind of remaining glow that's been left over by the bolts of lightning that came from the sky, that blade is fairly hard to miss.
But yeah, we even saw it when it was in that dank ass cellar.
Yep. Yeah, you can tell that it's out. As soon as it gets pulled out and he swings it, you can hear the vibrating sound that echoes on the wind here. And since you no longer have an additional friendly, Miss O'Shea, you're up.
I'm just directing the snakes to go bite everyone, basically.
Okay, everyone is a superlative, so be careful there.
Oh, okay. All the bad guys. All the animal creatures.
Okay.
So that hopefully they fall before they get to us.
Okay, so you're going to swarm these other creatures?
Yeah.
The one that Miss Lane just shot at, and then one of the ones that Jack shot at but missed are going to have the most concentration of snakes at them, at least readily. So they'll move forward fairly quickly, and then I'm going to have them make what is effectively a brawl roll against these creatures in an attempt to overwhelm them.
Okay.
So the first one, the one that Lillian shot at, is fairly quickly overwhelmed by a group of probably 80 to 100 snakes, which for those of you on the ground is a terrifying sight. it's a river of snakes that come out from the temple and come out from near Meave and encircle this falcon-headed creature, and they run up its body and just bite continuously. And yeah, the creature struggles and it pounds some of them into the sand and it rips at some of them, but within a few moments, the creature topples over, succumbing to the wounds. And the snakes don't stop. They keep biting. The other one, however, does its best to dance where it's at a little bit and stay away from most of the snakes. But even it has a problem fending all of them off because there's too many. And so a few more drop. Doctor, at your position atop the temple here, you are still in the after effects of this blood surging through your body. And you kind of hazily come to with your palms on the ground here. Your legs and your body is shaking. You can tell that you've vomited something up, and there's something in your eye. There's something in both of your eyes, and there's thunder in the air, and you have no idea what's going on now.
Start with the immediate, work my way out. Wipe my eyes. Is it goo?
No, it's blood. You're certain it's blood.
Oh, fantastic. Okay. Well, Doc carries booze on him, generally speaking. So he will use just a little bit on the end of his tie to wipe the blood off of his eyes. The rest of his face, he can deal with that later. And try to get his bearings amongst the great war-like cacophony that's going on around him.
Oh, yeah. And then what will you do?
I think he's going to back away from the ritual, but not so far that he can't see it. Is there a way that he can get away from the ritual and get a little closer to seeing what's going on the with everyone else?
Yeah, you can look over the temple spot here, and you can see about 20 or so feet down this, mix mash now of what look like several scores of dead creatures. And actually, from your vantage point, Doctor, why don't you give me a spot hidden roll?
I would love to. $36 under 80. That is a hard success, sir.
Over the dunes there, given your height, you see what looks like a very strange being coming out of the earth. There's something exiting the sands here. And there's a smaller figure nearby. The perspective is a little skewed, but whatever this section, the sinkhole maybe, that's in the ground beyond these dunes, whatever's coming out of it is huge.
Like stories tall, huge?
Maybe? It's a dark form. And the problem with the midnight sky above you is that it doesn't lend you any assistance. The glow, that this purplish residue that sticks to the sand here, the only way you're able to make certain that it's a thing coming out is that this being interdicts that purple glow. And so you can see that there's a shape that is beginning to be backlit.
Doc might not be good in a fight, but Doc has something that he's always seems to be very good at, which is Doc is going to help the people down below by illuminating the situation for them.
Your flare gun will probably not fire that far. You're talking like 150 feet.
Just in the air. I don't want to hit it. I just want to put some light in the air above them. Not an offensive fire, but more the direction where they need to be looking.
Okay. So go ahead and make me a firearms roll just to make sure you don't do something terrible with Betty.
Oh, God. Okay, 80 over 27. Well, it's not a fumble.
It's not a
It doesn't
fumble.
have one.
That's true. So you fire, and you just get the angle wrong. Jack, there's a flare overhead, except that it's not going up, it's going out. You see where it comes from, but it lands basically about 20 or so feet from the edge of that last combatant there towards the dunes. And
Scheiße.
it does put a little light out there,
Am I too far away for them to hear me?
probably given the gunfire, yeah.
If Jack can see where it came from, I'm pointing, like frantically that direction. Hopefully
Okay.
he can see me and what little light the flare gives him.
Yeah, you can see a little bit. You can definitely see the combatants in front of you a little bit better.
When I looked up, did I see the doctor pointing?
Yeah, you see an arm. You see an arm. Maybe that's the doctor?
Well, I can't imagine who else would be wearing a white suit out here.
Oh, that's true.
That's true. All right. You see him pointing. That said, the combatants are here now, Jack,
Mm-hmm.
and they are here to eat you.
I'm dodging.
I have no doubt that you will. Before you roll your dodges, you're going to get one dodge at your base dodge,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're going to begin being at disadvantage after every other attack.
Yeah. So that's 6 on my first dodge.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
And don't hit you with the first attack.
56. Under 89.
So 56. Because you're at disadvantage, so you take the lower of the two.
Right.
Okay. Are you dodging the third attack as well?
I'm going to have to.
Yep. Also it is.
Ooh, 73. That's not good. I'm in 78. So
You're going to get hit twice. You're going to get bit. And you're going to get gored. The bite is from a creature that has the head of a cheetah. And when you get gored, it's the horns of a bull. So take 4 from the bite. And take 9 from the gore.
ouch. Okay.
Miss Lane, Otto, and Sam, who really all have a front row seat to this. When the first one leaps onto Jack and bites down on his shoulder, he turns to try to minimize the amount of damage. And when he turns directly into a bullhorn, which takes him into the gut. And when this horn hits you, the real damage comes when this creature decides with its strength to stand to its full height, and you get pulled up, and you can hear this muscle and sinew in his body rack around. So those are those two. And then Otto, you have one of these wonderful creatures who would like to turn from its attempted eating of a camel to attempt to eat you.
I will fight back.
Go right ahead. That's a 5.
That is not a 5.
All right. D6. It's a crocodile. Fantastic. That is 9.
I am at 0.
Very good. When it turns from the camel and looks at you, you see one of the oldest predators in the Nile come at you, and you can't get out of the way. And it grabs onto your right thigh, and you hear before you lose consciousness, you hear your femur snap. We can begin a new round. Miss Lane. Otto is in a heap by a bloody camel, and there's something happening over in the darkness over there, and you're not really sure what it is, but none of it sounds good. Sam, for your point of reference, you would see the blade fall to the ground.
Okay.
I mean, technically, the doctor would probably see that too, but Sam has a better vision point. He's much more engaged with the fighting itself.
And Doc's looking at other things at the moment, or trying to.
Uh-huh. But it's on you, Miss Lane.
So is Jack still a gourd?
The damage is for flavor text, right? So, like, I did the
Right.
damage, but I wanted to show how the damage was dealt. He will get his action, right? He's not being grappled or held aloft.
He's not.
No.
He's on the ground
Yeah,
now,
well,
right?
Yeah, because after it stood to its full height, he would have to basically let him fall off. Yeah, you would see the blood all over the ground too. And he's probably on his back looking up at the stars.
And I see that Otto's unconscious over on the north.
He's in the dark.
Oh, I can't see anything?
It's not that you can't see anything, it's that you can't see definition.
Okay, well, that's kind of a problem. So I don't know what I would be running into. Do I have a line of sight shot for anything and that attack?
All three of those combatants are live for you. You could easily...
Right, but Jack's right there, but he's on the ground, right?
He is. He does not pose a significant cover for your shot.
Are any of them injured already or no?
2 of them are injured.
The one to the north there, right? That one right there?
So he is not injured. That's the bull. He is injured and he is injured.
All right, well, I'm going to go for the bull anyways.
What you got there?
We got a 79 out of 65. I will spend the luck.
Very good. Roll damage.
14.
Okay. You're going for this one here?
Yep.
He is dead. That is the bull. You shoot the bull dead. Sam?
The cheetah is there, and that other thing that missed Jack is also still there, right?
Yes, this is
and I'm guessing that they are looking to rend him asunder as he is wounded and such. Okay. So I will... You said Jack's on the ground, right?
Oh, yeah. Jack's on the ground, bleeding all over the place.
So I will... I guess she calls early. So I will once again produce the little lady, and I will take a hop off of my perch, landing in front of this happy gentleman here.
Yep.
And I'm going to fire a shot across him and the cheetah.
Yeah, it's effectively a scatter gun at this range, and so good luck to both of them.
This is point blank, right?
Oh, easily.
Okay. So I'll take the 43 out of 74.
Would imagine.
So 15 plus 4 is 19.
Yeah. So they're both going to die.
Okay.
Because of the effect of the scatter of the shotgun itself.
Okay, I would like to continue my movement if I can. Is that a thing I can do?
Yeah. You can. You got a move of what, 8 or 9?
9.
So you could move 4 squares.
1, 2, 3, 4, and I will shoot the other one.
At disadvantage, sure.
Yep, sure. What am I gonna do? Hit a camel?
Or you might hit Otto.
I mean, he's on the ground. It's fine. So that's a hard success on my disadvantage.
Very good. Roll damage.
11 plus 4 is 15.
Yeah, you wipe it out. Just as this thing was about to just completely and utterly chomp on Otto and likely deal him a rather terrifying final blow, you clear the deck. So that's your action, and so it will fall to. I don't know if Miss O'Shea wants a round action, but we're technically out of rounds.
I was going to have the snakes get Jack and bring him in. Them collectively, like making a carpet underneath him and bring him into the temple.
Okay, so you're going to cover Jack and snakes.
No, I'm getting up. No, that's.
Are you able to get up?
He is.
As
All
badly
heroes fight until they die.
As badly wounded as I am getting up. If she tries to cover me in snakes,
then I'm gonna start summoning the serpent servitor and start backing inside.
Okay. Well, you're gonna one or the other, lady.
I'm gonna summon.
Okay. You begin incanting again as your compatriots are bleeding on the battlefield. Jack, you get up.
Something's coming. We got to go.
Well, I was going to help, but Jack didn't want my help. He's all Indiana Jones about it.
Worst Pokemon fight ever.
Man down! If we're out of rounds, I'm going to grab Otto in one hand and his sword in the other. And I'll begin dragging his ass to the entrance.
You do so. Several of you are going back inside. Miss O'Shea, you're staying out to summon the servitor?
Yes, and then I will go inside.
Okay. So you need to spend the magic points to summon the servitor, and you need to make a power roll. You're also going to lose sand for summoning him.
Yeah, 1d3 sand.
All right.
5 magic
Lose 2
points.
sand. And then I guess, what is your goal? Or to have a goal in mind when summoning him?
For him to keep an eye out front. I'm not going very far from the front because I think there's more coming, basically. Gonna need his help.
Okay. So, Sam, you're going over and dragging Otto back in.
I drag Otto to the stairs where Lillian and Jack are, And I will look to them and I will say, help him get inside. We need to know what's coming. And I let him go.
Jack, make me a first aid roll.
16 under 31.
He's not safe to move. He shouldn't have been moved this far. He's bleeding out.
Do we know that the doctor is on top? Like you said, he's in white, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess. Hang on. My question, Doctor, to you to that point is: after what looks like the combatants have slowed, are you staying up top?
After a combat is when a doctor is most needed. So he is going to... Can he make his way down the side of this from where he's at, or does he have to go back down the stairs into the temple?
You could make a climb roll if you wanted to, but the stairs are much easier.
Yeah, let's go with the stairs. Because they don't come with a climb roll.
That's true.
So Doc takes he hurries and carefully backs around what's going on here and regrettably leaves the scene to go down and do what he does, which is almost assertedly patch a hole in at least one of them.
Okay. So, Jack, after your surmising of it, right, you're fairly certain that it would be dangerous to move Otto at this point. Lillian, you're not wounded by any means, but seeing your guide collapsed basically into the sand by these stairs is not pleasant. But deeper in the temple, you can see that the doctor is beginning to make his way back forward.
Is there anything I can do to help preemptively help since I have a 65 in first aid?
You could absolutely roll first aid.
Okay. I got a 30 out of 65.
Okay.
So hard success.
So in the moments that you have before the doctor arrives with your first aid, because first aid takes a minute or so, you need to tie off his leg wound. That femur wound is bad. And so you need some sort of cloth or clothing to tie it off.
I ripped one of my pant legs, click somewhere, obviously in my pants.
Of course you are.
So I did my left leg, I ripped that all the way off.
Okay.
So all the way around. So now it's half shorts, half,
Right. You're fashion forward.
Mm-hmm.
And you tie it off. Otto, you regain a single hit point.
So I come to in great pain.
Yes, you come to in great pain. Sam, you're heading off deeper towards the dunes.
As I move off, I'm shoving the sword back in his scabbard before I leave. And kind of in my head wishing him luck. And I'm moving south toward where the car is so that I can get elevated and in a relatively safe position to see what the hell's going on. And I will continue to watch where we saw that purple come from with the field glasses as I'm moving.
Maeve, your plan is to continue to summon, yes? Did you make your power roll?
53 out of 83.
You begin to summon, and as Sam, as you move off south towards the car to get some sort of elevated position, the sand under your feet begins to rumble again.
Shit. I move faster.
You drag Otto inside with the assistance of Miss Lane after he's got a makeshift, bandage around his thigh. Doctor, when you arrive at your newest patient, you are very concerned he may lose his leg.
Well, not if I have anything to say about it. Look down. Is Otto conscious or is he out?
Oh, no. Unfortunately for everyone, he, including himself, he is conscious.
And probably screaming.
Doc starts with, let's take care of that leg. I want to, we're in the golden, 5 minutes right now. So,
yep. So you can begin to work him over with a medicine roll.
All right. Starting with a 70 under 91 to get him stabilized. I will start the first to just get him stable and ignore everyone else and everything that's going on. I will occasionally bark orders to Lillian for things that I need.
Apparently I'm his nurse. I hand stuff to the doctor.
You were already covered in blood when I got here.
You get him inside and propped up on one of these wide seats that's near the temple entrance. It is just wide enough to elevate his leg and to keep him from likely bleeding out as you work on him. Otto, you are in a tremendous amount of pain.
Hence the screaming.
Tremendous.
Mike, can I do something about the pain for him? I mean, I can do a little bit with the morphine. Local anesthetic.
I mean, morphine's pretty good. How much more would you like to... what other than morphine would you like to dose your patient with? He's not really in the position to argue.
I have a cane. I was just going to keep hitting him until he's quiet. No, it's the Joan Crawford School of Medicine. I'm going to, as I work on him, if I can go into that trance state while I'm doing it.
Would you like to attempt some trance healing on him?
I would like to, yes.
Okay. I would like you to make a power roll and invest a d6 points of magic into it.
It is a 29 under 65, so that is a hard success. And then how much magic points?
D6.
D6, okay. 3 magic points.
So you spend 3 magic points and you begin to go into a trance. This area is filled with substantial energy. It's all around you. It's in every grain of sand, in every stone, and here it moves in a very serpentine fashion. And what's wonderful about that for you, Doctor, is the threads which bind humanity to Earth can be woven. And that is what your brain and hands begin to do. So for those of you in the physical realm, the Doctor almost seems to begin to make these very strange hand motions, almost like he's gathering something up, or if he's mimicking like he's washing plates. And his eyes have rolled back a bit in his head, and he's beginning to rock back and forth as he's doing this. And there's a very low and even tone that begins to come from his throat.
While he's in the midst of doing that, can I do a first aid roll on Jack?
Certainly.
Obviously, Jack is bleeding. I'm assuming he's all sorts
he has
of
a massive puncture wound in his chest.
I go running over to him and I tear my other pant leg.
Oh, shorts.
Shorts. It's time for shorts. It's warm in the desert. I'm gonna roll I get a 96 out of 65.
That's not good.
No.
But luckily, it's not a fumble. Skill roll above 50, so not a fumble.
Am I able to push
You
the
could,
roll?
but you have to tell me how you're going to push.
I'm going to push the fucking roll.
Go for
All
it.
right, I'm gonna take my last drink.
Lillian?
How am I pushing?
Yeah, tell me how you're pushing.
Okay, well, I'm going to shove the cloth in his hole. And I look at him and I tell him, I'm like, I swear to God, Jack Doyle, if you die, I am going to come to the afterlife and kill you again.
Very good.
Well,
The Hand of Fate is going to allow you to roll with advantage.
I got a 3 out of 65.
So that's an extreme.
Yeah.
For an extreme on this, we're going to roll a D3. We wouldn't normally do that for a simple first aid roll. And your quick thinking, Lillian, is going to recover 3 of Jack Doyle's hit points.
Sweet.
And that's what happens when I push a roll and get a Hand of Fate. Thank you, whoever did that.
Don't thank them yet.
Oh.
Anyway,
The bad ones are coming.
Yeah.
Sam, you reach the automobile.
I will assume my perch and I will bust out the field glasses and try to get a lay of the dark ass land.
The area beyond the dunes is a pit now. The earth there has changed. It has darkened. In fact, it reminds you an awful lot of the darkened sand outside the safe house when you created your machete. Except this hole is 30, 40 feet in diameter. I say hole because your eyes pick up depth to it. There is
Like a crater.
yeah. There's a purple glow within the empty space that exists in this crater. why don't you make me a spot hidden roll?
Do I want to see it? I don't know if I want to see it.
You said you got your field glasses out. I assume you're looking at it.
It's an 87 under 85. I will spend the 2 luck.
Okay. You spend the 2 luck. Beyond the dune there in that crater, you begin to make out the exterior portion of this form that lays in the negative space there. It moves in a strange and inhuman way, because truly it is a gross and unfathomable blob, a growing and undulating mass of flesh. And with this purple glow beginning to light up more and more, you see the form for what it is. And it is a hulking mass of flesh and eyes and teeth. And all along its edges, you watch the form grow outward and upward and down. Far, far different than the form you saw at the Miser House. This is something that swells with a blossom of green and emerald at its core. And then all along its disgusting and fetid edges, it burbles to life out of the crater. And you see it hulk forward, spilling, oozing forward. And now, sir, you're going to roll sanity for me.
Yeah, I was waiting for that. Thank you. I will take a 3 under 58 for an extreme success.
That's probably a very fortunate roll. You're going to lose 5 sanity for me.
Oh, jeez.
I will ask you to make an intelligence test.
That is a failure, 71 under 65.
The only intelligent roll you want to fail.
Got enough of those, buddy. I'm fine.
This mass, this disgusting mass of amoeba, an almost protoplasmic form, rushes forward. It lacks any definitive shape, and that's the most concerning part. Except what your eyes pick up there through your field glasses at the bottom rim of this form are hundreds of tiny little fingers that seem to be picking their way through the sand that have grown out of this creature's belly. You don't know what to think.
You said it's moving?
Oh, yes.
To me, it sounded like it was moving quickly as well.
It's moving far too quickly for your brain to want it to, that's for certain.
Is it moving toward the temple?
It is.
I'm of the opinion, and I feel like the only reason I'm able to rationalize this is because I knew that there's no way that Omar wasn't buying time for the important wave of his attack.
Mm-hmm.
And in my opinion, if this is not the finale, this is definitely his phase 2. Remembering my history lessons, I mean, the people at the Alamo survived 2. So even if we destroy this thing, there might be a 3rd. And if he's not visible and he's still out there, where is he?
Given the midnight sky, you don't see him around.
Okay.
If he is here, maybe he's behind it. The issue that you're having now with seeing this thing move, is it, you think it moves faster than you do?
So I have one other question before I yield the camera. When I came here, I specifically asked to make sure that I had enough fuel to travel to all 3 pyramids and back, and half again if I needed. How much fuel is in the storage container of this car? Like, how many different canisters of fuel are here?
There might be a couple. I mean, honestly, The gas mileage on those trucks, the distance that you'd have to travel wouldn't be terribly bad.
Sure.
There's probably a couple of jerry cans there, maybe 10 gallons.
Okay. Do I think it's moving faster than the car?
Well, the car's not moving at the moment.
I mean, like faster than the car could travel.
You don't. Probably not. But it's sand, and the car doesn't move that fast on sand either. I would just say you're concerned.
I'm very concerned. And if it is moving, I will do the only thing that I can do from this range, and that is pull out my police whistle and blow it as hard as I possibly can.
That's definitely something the rest of your compatriots pick up on the wind. There is a police whistle on the wind. Miss O'Shea, the sand in front of you parts. And the familiar face of an old friend arrives with it.
All right. Well, I'm pretty much going to be in the temple, but like in the doorway, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm basically going to keep watch with him and all the other snakes for what else is out there, because I need to try and pick out Omar. I guess I can ask him if he sees a human figure out there.
I mean, it turns its massive head and looks, and seems to point south.
I mean, I can only assume that hearing the police whistle is some kind of alarm, so I don't want to go send him off without knowing what's coming.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we'll chill here for a little bit.
Okay, you hold your position. Sam, this form has picked up speed. It'll probably be at the mouth of the temple in a minute.
Okay. So what I'm going to do in that in the brief amount of time I have, I'm going to grab one of the cans of fuel. This is a 2-seater, but I'm guessing there's like space behind the seat.
Yeah.
I will shove one of them behind the seat sideways, letting it spill out into the floor. And then I'm going to climb into the driver's seat and get this car moving down this downhill, like into the valley. And I'm going to beeline straight for it.
Beeline straight for the creature?
I'm going to try, based on its trajectory, I'm going to try to head it off, yeah. Or at least, intersect with it.
Probably right where the doctor's flare is sitting.
Okay.
It gives you a solid point to aim at anyway.
Does this thing have headlights?
Yeah.
As soon as I hit the bottom of the dune and I have acceleration, I will turn the headlights on so that it's kind of unmistakable.
Okay.
That there's a car coming.
Those of you inside would probably see, at least for a moment, the trace of headlights across the desert. Doctor, your time in the beyond comes to a halt. The weave for you is prepared. It needs to be tied off to complete.
All right. Then he ties it off and releases the rest of the energy.
Okay. Roll a d6 for me.
3 points.
Very good. Would you like to invest any additional MP? You can do up to 3 points.
I will invest 2 more.
Okay. You come to the snap of a hypnotist's fingers. There is a pop in your head. And Otto, you come out of your morphine haze for the moment, enough to feel your leg bone, and this is by no means comforting. You feel your leg bone, which is fractured. You feel the femur mush back together. And the tissue and sinew pull back tight. And it's this horrifying burning and itching and pain. It runs all the way up your back. It becomes impossible to get away from. And you writhe, flop like a fish there in the chair.
Yeah.
And you heal 5 hit points. James?
Yeah.
The doctor loses 3 sanity.
Yeah, you can't channel that kind of power without repercussions.
Yes, sir. there is a reckoning. Your patient lives.
Can Doc opt to, since he only has one MP left, he's going to kind of just crumple to the side next to the chair that Audle's in, and he's probably not going to be conscious too much longer.
Yeah. Audle, you're this doctor who sits beside you, covered in blood, his face running with some blood from his eyes and nose, leans his head back against the stones of the temple and just stares blankly off into nothingness. His chest heaving from whatever it is that he did. You feel like something has changed within you, and you don't know what, and you don't know how, but you know damn sure that was not Allah.
No, that was not. I mean, it's not the first time the doctor has done some sort of funny thing to me.
Correct.
But,
Jack, what are you up to besides limping around?
Well, I guess I'm going to limp back towards the front of the temple. What's Maeve's obviously casting something.
She's brought that thing back, and it's in front of her, out of the ground, almost seeming like if you didn't know any better, it'd be like a guard dog, and it's waiting. And you see...
Yeah,
go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, we're blocking the doorway.
Yeah, it's a fairly effective door block. The headlights, though, probably shine off of not only it, but now shine off of Maeve, as her skin has toned very dark, and it's almost like she's been covered with pitch or some sort of dark scale. It's very strange. Something has happened to her.
Okay, well, I guess I'm waiting. Because, I can't really see anything past it, right?
That's true. No, you can't. You see just out of the side of the temple opening, you see a car begin moving towards the middle of this open sandy area here that's still littered with the bodies of these misshapen people.
Do I hear Jack behind me?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to turn to him. Why don't you get further into the temple? Maybe go take a drink out of the well? Something, but not be here.
What's happening?
Something's coming. I don't know if it's Omar or not. He, as I tilt my head towards the servitor, can see a human form out there. I'm just afraid to let him go without any protection here with us.
Let me know when you see whatever it is that's coming.
On that note, over the crest of the dunes, as this car nears the center, a new and different kind of darkness takes over the top of the dune. It's a rising wave of something. It's lightly flecked with purple and some flared greens. And it looks like, Jack, if you didn't know it better, it's like it flows like molasses in the sense of the consistency. The speed, though, that it surges towards it's faster than the creatures that came before. And as this being, this mass of protoplasm flows across the stones, you see it consume the bodies left over. You see these bodies break down in real time as this protoplasm flows over them. And the protoplasm and this creature, whatever it is, it produces eyes and teeth and hands and arms as it continues to flow forward. And that ain't right.
That ain't right at all.
Maeve, you're seeing the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so you'll both make me sand rolls.
12.
That is good.
That's not what I want.
You don't want a 12?
No, I don't want to roll sand.
Oh, yeah, well, shit happens.
27 out of 61.
Okay. Jack, I'll take 3 from you. And Maeve, I take 3 from you as well. It's coming. It doesn't feel like anything is slowing it down. And that truck, that truck that's landed there has stopped directly in its path.
What is he doing?
Sam, what are we doing?
Once I am pretty confident that it's going to come right for this thing, I am going to... I wasn't planning on stopping. So if I'm heading it off, I would turn toward it. And then as I was heading down, I was going to light a disposable flare, holding my hand out the window. And then basically, once I have my trajectory lined up, I was going to take the flare, jam it into the accelerator, like pin the accelerator down using the flare, and then get the hell out of the truck.
Okay, so you're going to have a total of 2 rounds. 1 to prepare the truck and 1 to move.
Okay.
I think it's fair to ask for some type of mechanical roll.
Sure.
To point the truck.
I was expecting nothing less.
So please give me that.
That is a 41 under 63.
Okay, you've prepared the truck. And now you need to flee.
Yes.
And so while there's no roll for fleeing, we're just making sure that you're actually leaving.
I'm assuming that, because the cab is being filled with gas at the floor, that hopefully something will happen. But I need to be as far away from this as possible because there's about 10 gallons of fuel that are going to go up. So I grab my bag and I run.
Okay.
As fast as my feet will take me.
You run back and you run you run towards a enormous snake-like creature that's waiting at the mouth of the temple next to Maeve. But given what you've seen behind you, you don't really care.
I really don't.
And so with you running back towards the temple, with Jack and Lillian nearby, with Otto in shrieking in terrifying pain that not even the gods can comprehend, and your good doctor passed out having done his best and level work, we will leave this episode here. So thank you so much for joining us. I look forward to a rather explosive next episode.